What's up, y'all? It's your boy T Wizzle the Wankster. We got an update video for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Okay, I don't make these unless there's like actual stuff to talk about. I say this, I don't want to make it when there's something very mild because I want to give you guys actual updates. I think this is pretty interesting. This is pretty cool. So Game Informer, you might have heard of this. Apparently Game Informer traveled to Game Freak's headquarters in Tokyo and got a chance to speak with the Game Freak people, Masuda, Omori, and they got a bit more information out of the games, which is kind of cool. It kind of some fan game stuff going on here, and some stuff about Galar really sounds like making the universe seem more believable. I'll get into it, but the first thing they mentioned...
This month at GameInformer.com, we're pulling back the curtain on the development of Pokemon Sword and Shield, Brian Shea.
We spent a full day at Game Freak learning what it takes to put together the first...
Damn, that Photoshop? I'll tell you guys what's in it. That's some 3D modeling crap. Hey, is that, it's our boy James Turner. He's the art director for Game Freak. You got a chance to sit with them. You know, fun fact, this dude designed Shadow Lugia. He designed Vanillix and stuff as well. He's pretty good. Vanillix sucks. So does frickin' Voltorb.
The first mainline Pokemon RPG on a console, and how and why the Legendary Studio does what it does.
And how. This month we'll be sharing videos about the new starters, the new region, and we even...
Frick, I didn't even open the right video. It's kind of cool to see James Turner up there. It's like the big three with him. It's frickin' right here. I'm watching a video. The first thing is that Pokemon Sword and Shield will auto-save the game just like Switch games do. Frickin' Zelda, the icon pops up. I'm auto-saving. But you can turn it off. You can turn it off so you can shiny hunt, so that you don't have to forcefully encounter a non-shiny Zacian because you want the blue version. What would shiny Zacian be? Just don't freaking be like darker red. Yo, give him a gold sword. Maybe his sword is gold. Yes, Titar, his sword is indeed gold. Give him a black sword. Give him a black sword and make him gold. Frick. And then make him gold and make his shield black. I think it's cool. I think it won't hurt. But I feel like when it does autosave, it's not going to autosave constantly. Like, you leave the town and then the symbol appears and it autosaves. I feel like if you fought Zacian and killed it, it wouldn't autosave yet. I think they just want people to get used to it because it is a feature that you kind of have to move into when you're on a console. That's the first one. Don't freak out. Just turn it off in settings. The second thing is Pokemon cut from the Sword and Shield National Dex will return in the future. Now, this is obviously a given, alright? Just because Luxray hasn't been in the main Dex since Sinnoh, and he hasn't had the best time of his life, and now he's not in Sword and Shield, doesn't mean Luxray doesn't exist anymore. But just how they've abandoned gameplay ideas like the Battle Frontier, they think that they need to prioritize other things like new gameplay ideas and new ways to enjoy the game, that they decided to make the change and get rid of the Dex. And they also say we have a lot of awesome new challenges that we haven't even revealed in Sword and Shield, which I'm so happy about. I could believe them. They have not revealed much at all for Sword and Shield. Think about Sun and Moon. We've seen so much. Solgaleo and Lunala, their typings, a bunch of Alolan forms. The Alolan forms we've gotten is Weezing, Obstagoon, and Sirfetch'd. Is that freaking really it? Isn't there another one? In Alola's first trailer, there was Alolan Exeggutor, Alolan Vulpix, Ninetales, Alolan Sandslash, and Sandshrew. They threw out so much that it like desensitized you and just like, keep giving me more leaks. This time they've revealed such little, and they've done the teasing with farfetch'd, sirfetch'd, and they made it really fun, and I could believe that they really haven't told us much at all. The third legendary, other legendaries, you know in the trailers, they showed you Tapu Koko and all the other Tapus. There was literally everything shown in the Sun and Moon trailers. I can believe there'd be some really cool things that they're hiding. And then they reiterate that the Pokemon that they put in Galar are Pokemon they feel like would naturally roam there. When he asked Masuda if the Pokemon that were cut can return in the future, he said, definitely! You can look forward to seeing them later, and Pokemon Home will connect them to those games. Clearly, Masuda's aware at this point, if he didn't realize it, that when you do transfer something to Pokemon Home, that it's stuck there if you can't put it to any of the games because it's not in them. So maybe he'll think of something. The third thing, HMs are not in Pokemon Sword and Shield. This one makes a lot of sense. This one I saw coming. So HMs were gotten rid of in Sun and Moon, and they're of course making it less like confusing for people to play, especially when you're a kid and you're just trying to get through the game. When you have to teach your Pokemon these HMs and you're so confused how to cut down the cut tree and move the strength boulder. Like, I feel like if I gave it to like my kid or like a younger brother that was like 7, he'd be so freaking stuck trying to move a strength boulder. So by getting rid of HMs, it just becomes like you get an item in Zelda and then now you can shoot eyes with arrows. It just becomes something you can naturally do. So in the first area where there were strength boulders, now you can come back there and move it, just depending on how far you get in the game. It's kind of cool forcing like cut and rock smash onto your party in order to maximize their like resources in the game, because only people who would add those useless moves to their party get to fully explore the region. But I guess no one really cares. Oh, they literally say the exact thing. They say it matches the same idea they had in Sun and Moon and wanting to give the player more freedom. And apparently they felt like HMs just weren't for this game. I support that. It kind of does suck because like when you go to some icy cave, it's no longer a secret to be able to fully explore it. So let's see, when your teams are on level 50, there's this icy cave and there's a boulder in front of it, and you have to physically leave the cave, get strength, and come back and move the boulder, and there's some legendary Gen 8 Articuno there. That makes it more fun. Boom, bam, boom. Fourth, the XP share is no longer an item in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I think the main reason they would do this is because, you know, in like Final Fantasy, each time you progress like 20 minutes, you have to sit there training in the grass again and again, and it becomes a part of Final Fantasy to like train your team up. But in these games, I think they just want people to progress further. Every Pokemon in your party gets equal experience automatically as you progress through the game. Isn't this how it was in Let's Go? Like, your Pokemon just all leveled up when you got Pokemon captured. There's no sign that you can turn it off, which I suppose isn't the first thing on our list of what we want. We want the XP share off. But I guess as long as they level cap it properly, so while you're getting massive experience, the game is actually getting harder and harder, I guess it could be fine. But as we saw in X and Y and Sun and Moon, with the XP share, you can make it to like around level 60 just normally going through the game. You don't need to do too much extra training. Could you see Leon on your first go fighting him having like level 75 Pokemon? I don't know. But if he did reach that level, I suppose it'd be fine. Bing bong boom! Pokemon Sword and Shield have new mechanics to train your Pokemon for the metagame. Did Masuda say this? He says that your starter Pokemon, which you use and get to the end of the game with, often you find out isn't good enough and competitive, and you need to take a different approach. Kazumasa Iwao said this. This time they want to introduce a way for players to be able to take those Pokemon that they use in the beginning and make them usable for competitive. I support this. I know people like to breed and EV train and all, but at the same time I hate having useless Pokemon. I don't hate it. It's fun to get the right nature and do all that stuff, but the fact you have to deposit your entire main story team and start again. Like when someone comes online in a Wi-Fi battle and they have like their Charizard and their Greninja in X and Y, it's like your team's gonna be ass because this is your story team. They say there's something like a personality parameter. This is nature, right? Like docile and stuff. So about breeding and getting the right personality, there's a system that can fix that for people. You're gonna make, I don't know if they mean natures. I don't know if you could make your freaking Zacian turn adamant later. They still want to make it so people can breed because there is a fun in that and a value in the effort being put into breeding and making a team. But he wants to make it more accessible to the rest of the people. Oh, for example, using Pokemon from previous games. Like if you transferred something from Pokemon Home all the way from one of your earlier games, it would suck and you would not be able to use that in competitive. Now you could actually hone it up and make it usable. It's pretty good. And now there's the big thing. They also made it so max raid battles are going to be an actual challenge. So when you encounter these, you have a huge chance of losing, which would be kind of cool. It'd be really nice that even with your dream team, that there's something that's a challenge that you might lose to sometimes. You don't have to just spam A. And then there's the big kahuna news, which I took forever to find this. People have been reporting this, but they're not freaking showing where they got it from. I freaking finally found it. It's this thing right here. They're apparently going to have, instead of 8 gyms, 18 gyms in this game. 18 freaking gyms. Now, not yet. Hold on. According to the director Shigeru Omori, the gyms are split into a system resembling major sports leagues and minor sports leagues. So there's 18 different gyms, and depending on the version, some gyms are in major and some are in minor. And then, for example, in Pokemon Sword, you got Bea, the fighting girl, and then in Pokemon Shield, you got whatever the ghost dude is, Annabelle. Is that his name? So those are 2 different gym leaders that I think make it to the major league. So in the other game, I suppose it would be in the minor league. So I think what they're insinuating is that, and this is actually so good for world building in Galar and in Pokemon that makes the world seem more stable and believable, which is what I was saying in the beginning of this video, is that there's going to be 18 gym leaders, 1 of every single type. And it's like each year, 8 of those, almost like a championship, become the major league and become the 8 gym leaders you have to take down to participate in the Pokemon League. Because another thing that is in these games is that there's no Elite Four in Pokemon League. There is a champion, but what happens is it's like the Orange Islands. It's like the anime itself. It's a tournament. So like 8 trainers, like they go into a tournament, like some Dragon Ball Z tournament, and the 8 trainers make it to the top and fight each other. And you actually get the Ash versus Gladian battle, which I was supposed to be you versus Hop. And then when you win the bracket, you get to fight the champion, Leon. And that's where the champion battle happens. So what's really cool is that it seems like each year, there's 18 gym leaders, 8 of them become the major league. and become the big news around the region. You have to beat these leagues. It has the sports vibe to it, while the other 10 are in the minor league, and they get to sit on the back burner for this year. I think that system is really cool. I hope they expand on what it means to be a gym leader more, because now that they've gotten rid of the Elite Four, it's like, because in my mind, like, gym leaders should be the same thing as an Elite Four member, except Elite Four members have more experience, and they get promoted from gym leader to Elite Four member. So I want these gym leaders to all actually be strong trainers, and maybe have a role in the story. Is Nessa just gonna be a statue? Is Bede is the weird L dude. He's not a gym leader. Like, are all these gym leaders gonna be statues, or can they have a role in the story, at least in a minor sense? But this is really cool. 18 gym leaders, 18 types, and 18 gyms. Maybe you can go and visit them in the post game, which gives a reason to actually do more stuff in the post game. They said in places that Galar will have post game content, right? Sword and Shield. It'd be really cool if you fight the 8 gyms, you fight the evil team, which is clearly Chairman Rose. Maybe he's freaking manipulated Leon in some way, and Leon doesn't know he's supporting Chairman Rose's evil plans. But you beat the champion Leon, you become the champion of the region, and now you have still 10 more gym leaders you can take on. And then you can add so much more post-game content if when you go to the gyms, they're not there, and you have to go to some cave, find them, do a little mission with a legendary Pokemon or some sort of evil team remnant over there, and then you can come back and fight them. You have so much potential. Make use of this. This is a good change. I freaking wish you could do this for all the regions. The tournament thing is the big thing. There's going to be tournaments instead of the Elite Four in Galar. I want this to continue going forward. I want with Sin or Remix to come out for it to be like that. Of course, there can still be the Elite Four, Flint, and all those dudes. They can have a role in the tournament, but I like the tournament system better. Because with 4 Elite Four members and a champion, no freaking evil team can make it out there. There should be no Archie, Maxie, Cyrus when there's Cynthia's around and 4 trainers right under her level. This way, it's like one big game, one big competition, and you get to fight your rival Hop in the championship to fight Leon after. It's perfect. I like it. So that's the update. See, this was very good. And then there's Pokemon Camp and cooking. I feel like they're just trying to make a lot of just fun, tasteful progress that you could just make in the game. Just have fun. You load it for 4 hours. Just do a bunch of fun stuff. Alright, that's the update. Slap a like if you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you like the 18 gyms divided into major and minor leagues? And how do you think they work? This is my idea of how they work. There's no proof that all 18 are battleable. That's why I'm saying that maybe only 8 rise to the top, because that'd be a long game if you had to fight all 18. And they have to do it correctly. It'd be better if it was just 8 gyms and the other 10 are in the post game. Or maybe the 10 gyms are split into 5 gyms in each version. I don't know. Alright, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. We'll talk there. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.